Let me preface this video by saying that I am a huge fan of the Jimquisition, and I love Jim's unflinching analysis and mockery of the bullshit that encompasses the video game industry. I think Jim Sterling is one of the funniest people on YouTube, and you'll be hard-pressed to find somebody on this platform who's more deserving of being labeled a journalist. That being said, I think that the latest episode of the Jimquisition was kind of weak. Thursday's Jimquisition covered the controversy revolving around video game developer THQ Nordic holding an Ask Me Anything thread on 8chan, a website with a pretty nasty reputation for harboring rather dodgy content. It's even been delisted from Google because of some of the shit that it's hosted. The point is, 8chan is a shit website that no company in their right mind should ever associate with. So, of course, THQ Nordic decided that 8chan was just the best place to hold an AMA. I don't think I need to tell you that this was a dumb move that warranted criticism, and when I saw Jim Sterling post a Jimquisition episode covering the drama, I went into it with high hopes. To be fair, the core message of the episode was fine enough, with Jim adequately explaining both what THQ Nordic did and why it was a bad idea, and also warning video game companies to stop trying so hard at being cool and edgy, because every single time they try, it backfires spectacularly on them. There is, however, one small segment in the video wherein Jim whines about jokes that video game companies posted on Twitter. I am not joking, that is actually what he does. And it's during this small segment of the video where he says something particularly jarring and just flat out wrong about the "did you just assume my gender" joke.
In the games industry alone, only recently we had Good Old Games' Twitter account involved in a chain of bad PR moves, including making a tired old "did you assume my gender" joke, a joke predominantly used as a dog whistle to mock trans people. Sorry, but it is.
Sorry, Jim, but no, it isn't. That is a declarative statement that you made without backing it up with any evidence. I can make declarative statements too. Jim Sterling is a pedophile. Must be true because I said it. It's my understanding that the "did you just assume my gender" joke began as a way to satirize identity politics. To quote Know Your Meme, "Did you just assume my gender" is a punchline used to mock the sensitivity of feminists, social justice warriors, and the discussions going on in the LGBTQ community. It first appeared as a punchline mocking the supposedly militant nature of feminists and queer activists. You see, Jim, this joke does not dog whistle any sort of transphobic rhetoric. It is mainly used to make fun of people who are overreactionary idiots that can't handle others' criticisms or perspectives. Now, I'm not saying that this joke has never been used in any sort of transphobic context. However, listen to Jim's wording here.
A joke predominantly used as a dog whistle to mock trans people. Sorry, but it is.
He's not saying that some people have used this joke to mock trans people. He's not saying that there have been instances of this joke being used to mock trans people. He's saying that the "did you just assume my gender" meme has been predominantly used to single out and mock trans people. And that is just wrong. Okay, it's time to move on.
Apologised for that one, just like they did later when they used the "won't be erased" hashtag to promote themselves. The "won't be erased" tag being one concerned with the very real threat of cultural erasure as a result of the Trump administration's plan to roll back civil rights for trans Americans.
Okay, so an obscure video game retailer made a stupid pun using the hashtag of a relevant social movement. Why are you talking about this? What the hell is going on, Jim? Go back to discussing the fucking shitty business practices of video game companies. What is this? I understand that these are supposed to be examples that highlight how badly companies fail at trying to stay relevant with the gaming community, but my issue is that I don't think Good Old Games deserves the backlash it got for its jokes. There are far worse PR moves video game companies have made over the years that Jim could have used to bolster his argument, but the best shit he could find were instances where a company made an inoffensive joke and people overreacted to said inoffensive joke. Jim, buddy, try finding better examples than this, because you're starting to sound silly. In a sane and just world, These tweets would not garner any mainstream headlines, nor would Jim dedicate part of an episode of the Jimquisition to whining about them. We would all read the jokes, yawn, and then move the fuck on with our lives because they're just that inconsequential. In fact, even the main story that this Jimquisition is covering isn't really all that newsworthy. Oh my god, an obscure video game developer is hosting an AMA on a controversial website. The entire world's going to fucking collapse. It's just really hard to drum up any considerable hype for a story like that, you know? I'd end the video here, but there's just one more stupid point Jim makes that I want to address.
Today we posted a tweet containing a trending hashtag as a pun, stated the obligatory corporate walkback, which again we were all just waiting for. The tweet was neither intended as a malicious attack, nor as a comment to the ongoing social debate. GOG should focus only on games. We acknowledge that and we commit to it. I'm not one for the just stick to games retort, but in this case, yeah, maybe if you just keep getting in trouble it is for the best.
See, that right there is what I'm talking about. A company was forced to take back a joke and just stick to games, not because the joke was actually offensive and out of line, but because pansies who can't handle the slightest of suggestive humor said that the joke was offensive and out of line. This is less of an example of bad PR moves and more of an example of how oversensitive people are. There was actually another instance where Good Old Games made a quote-unquote offensive and out-of-line joke. What did they do? They posted an edited Postal 2 GIF where they wrote the words video game journalism on a tombstone. Yeah, that's all they did. They referenced Gamergate, only referenced it. Good Old Games nonetheless took back the joke because game journalists threatened to boycott the retailer over it. There's an excellent article covering that drama that I'll link to in the description below, but my point is that people like Jim need to chill the fuck out. These companies didn't do anything wrong. They told a joke. Boo-hoo, what a fucking travesty.
Keep politics out of my games crowd were annoyed at GOG for this when they just committed to sticking to video games like you want them to, so you should be happy with that. Jim,
I think those people were upset because Good Old Games was being pressured into taking back an innocuous joke by those who had to get up on their mighty soapbox and proclaim how insensitive they were being. You've also gotta love how Jim's wording here implies that all of the people criticizing Good Old Games for taking back their joke were part of the keep politics out of our games crowd. Even if everyone criticizing Good Old Games for folding under pressure were part of that crowd, that doesn't invalidate their criticism, because the issue here isn't about politics. It's about people being so easily offended that companies have to walk back innocuous jokes that most of the gaming community didn't give two shits about. And if you want proof that most of the gaming community doesn't see what the big deal is in regards to both THQ's 8chan AMA and the jokes made by Good Old Games, you only need to see the dozens upon dozens of critical comments people left on Jim's original video. I'm not the only person who's confused and irritated at why such small petty nonsense is being blown out of proportion like this. Jim, next time, save your Jimquisitions for better news than this. I'm here to listen to Jim rant about the terrible business practices of video game companies, not for him to tell me what memes are, quote, predominantly used for. I'm Alex Critic, and thank God for me. I'll see you guys next time.